Hello everybody and welcome to the very first episode of the Saturday Morning Replay, the brand new show from Nerds with Mics. My name is Chad and I'll be your host on this show of nostalgia. And each and every Saturday morning we'll be taking a ride down memory lane when we revisit the 90s to take a look at our favorite shows, movies, toys, video games, and more of yesteryear. And for our 80s kids in the audience, don't think that I've forgotten about you. The last Saturday of the month kicks off 80s week, so don't put away your power gloves and your turned up collars just yet. With this first episode airing right at Christmas, I thought it'd be a perfect opportunity for a two-parter episode to take a look back at all those toys we begged our parents to buy us as kids. We'll cover all the 90s toys this week, and then next week, it's all 80s. So let's go ahead and get started with the first item on our list. Number 1, the Tamagotchi and the Digimon. When the Tamagotchi hit store shelves in the 90s, it caught on like a wildfire. A Tamagotchi was a digital pet from Bandai that allowed kids everywhere not only to feed and play with their pet, but also to pick up its poop. That's right, digital poop. And if you were a bad enough pet owner, the Tamagotchi would even die. The pet was on an egg-shaped keychain, and the housing itself came in several different colors and patterns. And friends would show off, compare, and even trade their pets. And as big of a hit as the Tamagotchi was, it was mostly considered a girl's toy, which is why Bandai then released the digital monster, or Digimon. The Digimon was pretty much everything the Tamagotchi was, with a few changes. The crazy colored eggs were replaced with a square-shaped device with a brick texture, and it added new features of training and being able to battle other Digimon. The Digimon took off just as well as the Tamagotchi, and was even copied by Nintendo with a Pikachu knockoff. The Digimon went on to the show, cards, and video games we all know. Number 2, the Talkboy and the Talkgirl. The Talkboy started as a prop in one of the biggest holiday movies of all time, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. Seeing a serious opportunity to cash in, John Hughes and the studio worked with toy companies to have a fully functional model on store shelves for the opening of the movie, which also happened to be the week before Black Friday. Pretty smart. The Talkboy allowed kids to record their voice with a cool extendable microphone. It also had a hand grip on the back for portability. The Boy Deluxe was later released and allowed kids to slow their voices down for a deeper sound to mimic the scene in the movie where Kevin alters his voice to sound like an adult in order to place reservations for a hotel. There was also a feature added to play back recordings faster for a higher pitch. And just in case the original model was a little too masculine, a pink version was also released and was called, of course, the Talkgirl. Number 3, Skydancers and Dragonflies. Skydancers were dolls with wings that acted as helicopter-like propellers. Nothing unsafe about that, right? The Skydancers came with a base and a ripcord that launched them into the air when pulled. They were so wildly popular that an animated series was created to cash in. And of course, with the success of the toy line and animated series for girls, a series and toy line for boys was created, Dragonflies. The toys and shows of both Skydancers and Dragonflies enjoyed success until a safety recall was issued after 100 injuries had been sustained from the wings. Number 4, Moon Shoes. Moon Shoes were released by Nickelodeon in the 90s as trampolines for your feet. The shoes debuted on an episode of Double Dare and sales took off. Moon Shoes were made to simulate the experience of a low-gravity environment. The shoes didn't give the wearer the ability to jump higher, as some might have hoped, but rather just provided the sensation of doing so. Parents became concerned with the safety of the shoes, and they received quite a bit of criticism. I owned a pair of shoes myself, and I can pretty much say they're impossible to walk in. As a kid, I ended up needing stitches when I took a tumble into a parked car. Number 5, the Easy Bake Oven and Creepy Crawlers. The Easy Bake Oven has actually been around since the 60s, but had a huge comeback in the 90s when Hasbro acquired the original company, Kenner. The Easy Bake Oven used an incandescent bulb as a heating source to allow kids to bake their own cakes and pancakes in tiny little dishes. With Hasbro releasing an all-new brightly colored plastic oven and snack center in 1993, a new generation learned the disappointment of attempting to make things edible. And just like most of the items on our list, there was also a boy version released called Creepy Crawlers. Creepy Crawlers has also been around since the 60s, but was re-released in 1992 by Toymax. The Creepy Crawler sting maker in the 90s used plastic goop instead of plastic pellets in an attempt to make the toys safer. The Creepy Crawlers brand took advantage of multiple trends of the 90s and had license deals with Bugs Bunny, Power Rangers, Batman, The Mask, and even Jurassic Park. Number 6. Crossfire. Crossfire originally came out back in the 70s but was reborn in the 90s. It was a mix of air hockey, pinball, Hungry Hungry Hippos, and even foosball all in one. The whole objective was to score by shooting pucks into your opponent's goal with metal ball bearings. When the Crossfire made its comeback, it was accompanied with a totally awesome commercial with two kids battling it out in an epic arena of fire. Mix in the fast-paced action of Crossfire, lightning special effects, and a pretty awesome song in the background, and you've got yourself a game that had kids drooling. Number 7. Tickle Me Elmo. Tickle Me Elmo was released in 1996 and instantly became the biggest toy of the Christmas season, which was apparently unexpected because Tyco toys were not even close to meeting the demand of the doll. The Tickle Me Elmo retailed around $30, but there were instances of people paying in the thousands of dollars from scalpers. People went crazy over this doll. There was an instance reported of a woman in Denver paying $7,100 for one Tickle Me Elmo. With the incredibly limited supply, violence broke out in stores across the US. Just imagine watching Jingle All the Way, but instead of two dudes fighting it out for the last doll, it was the entire country. Number 8. Street Sharks. The TV series itself might be on one of our future lists of forgotten 90s shows, but I guarantee every guy watching remembers how awesome these shark dudes were in their toy commercials. I mean, come on, look at this. Biting chains, punching out bad guys, breaking graham crackers, eating cement. The Street Sharks were pretty much the epitome of 90s action toys, and I had all of them, and so did you. Number 9. Anything Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now I know what you're thinking, but Chad, didn't the Ninja Turtles start in the 80s? Well, technically yes. But the show and toys continued on well into the 90s with some incredible and some not so incredible toys. Everything from blimps, skateboards, and even the friggin' Technodrome. With the large number of Ninja Turtle toys and all the marketing being done, they stayed on every kid's wish list for years.
We'll be right back!
As long as you love me so, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Nothing melts away the cold like a delicious hot bowl of Campbell's soup.
Let it snow, let it snow.
Campbell's.
Now back to our show.
Number 10. The Power Rangers action figures. When the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers aired in 1993, it was a complete game changer. The show itself was cheaply made from recycled footage from a Japanese Super Sentai series and then redubbed in English. Throw in a few teenagers with attitude and lots of cheesy dialogue and explosions, and you've got one of the largest kids shows ever made. And of course, with an incredibly popular show, toys were soon to follow. And the Power Rangers toys were just so cool. You know them, I know them, I had them, you had them. One of the most popular Power Rangers action figures were the Morphing Rangers. Pressing the belt on the Rangers flipped their head from being that of Jason, Kimberly, Tommy, Billy, Trini, or Zach into one of the Power Rangers. I had several of these over the years. That's everything for this week's Saturday morning replay, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to watch our first episode. Did all of your favorite toys make the list? Anything that I missed? Leave a comment below and let me know. If you liked the show, a thumbs up would be much appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss next week's All 80s episode. Until next time, guys, have a good one.